the Australopithecines in their natural habitat?
Australopithecines originally emerged 4.4 million years ago in Western Africa and eventually migrated to northwestern Africa as well as Central Africa. Their brains were 35% the size of modern humans, but they were only 3 feet 11 inches to 4 feet 7 inches tall. They mainly ate fruit, vegetables, and other plant-like structures that stored nutrients. And how they differed from their predecessors was mainly in their use of bipedalism. This was developed by a sudden climate change in Africa, which caused for a warmer climate and less trees to hide from predators, needing them to run rather than hide. That's probably most of it. I can go over the anthropology part.
Homo habilis was the first species of Homo, evolving from the Australopithecus and into the Homo erectus. The cause of its evolution was a larger brain primarily. No other factors played a larger role. It lived about 2.3 to 1.5 million years ago in Africa. Most discoveries are found in Tanzania, others in Kenya and Ethiopia. These are the most common and most important specimens found. No evidence intimated migration at all. A larger brain and a larger brain case were evident, as well as long arms and moderately prognostic face, similar to a primate, though its face became smaller and teeth more evident, yet small and strong. It was about 3'4" to 4'5" and weighed about 70 pounds, much like a preteen in our age now. The sizing between male and female is not evident yet, though they also had arched feet. With its new teeth, it ate harder foods, possibly due to a lack of regular food source. The diet was flexible and versatile, allowing them to eat a broad range of food like leaves, woody plants, and some animal tissues, but not especially allow them to eat harder things such as strong meats and dried nuts. A unique behavior providing most prominent in its ability is to create useful tools. Homo habilis translates to handyman. They made tools for specific purposes, for breaking rocks to use flint, or creating tools to help eat or help survive. It was able to, and commonly did, create tools. It was bipedal, though did not walk straight up and down, yet hunched over. Its build and physical features were different, along with its diet. It appeared about 2.3 million years ago and lasted until 1.5 million years ago. It may have tried to use fire, though it was not insanely successful. It did use bipedalism and use of tools, and may have contributed to the early form of collective learning. And that's it, yeah.
Homo erectus evolved from the Homo habilis and developed features such as a narrower pelvis and a taller, thinner body to respond to a hot climate and the need to run longer distance. The Homo erectus lived in Africa and later moved to Asia and Europe. It had a cranial capacity from about 850 to 1100 cubic centimeters, and it was very slender with long arms and legs. The males were about 25% larger than the females. They were slightly shorter than modern humans. The diet was very meat-heavy, while nuts, berries, and fruits were also eaten by them. Its unique behaviors were the use of tools and possibly use of rats. It is thought that it used fire. There's no evidence that it cooked food, but it was thought by some scientists that it did cook food, and it's the first hominid to live in a hunter-gatherer society. It was different from its predecessors such as the Homo habilis, as it was tall and skinny with many different facial features. It also had larger brains than the hominids that came before it. It appeared about 1.9 million years ago and lasted until about 70,000 years ago. Its uniqueness was the use of tools and the use of fire that many of the hominids before it were not able to utilize.
Can I crawl into the background? No, crawl back.
The environmental factors that influenced the Neanderthals' upcoming was the change in its actual environment, the natural selection, and migration taking place. They lived in Eurasia, the Middle East, and Britain. Neanderthals originated in Africa. Neanderthals' jaws were much larger and more robust than modern humans. Wide collarbones and a low flat skull also showed signs in fossils. 1,600 centimeters cubed was their brain size. Its diet was plenty of veggies. They also hunted mammoth, reindeer, and as evidence from their digestive waste, many other animals such like that. Neanderthals were also thought to be carnivores. They made advanced tools. They lived in complex social groups. Neanderthals differ from their predecessors mainly by their physical features and the increase in brain size. They appeared about 200,000 years ago and 250,000 years ago. They did use fire. They did use tools. That was progression from earlier Homo sapiens and earlier hominids.
Sapiens originated about 200,000 years ago in Africa and eventually migrated to the rest of the entire world. Their average height was about 5 feet 6 inches and average weight around 150 pounds. The brain size is around 1,400 cubic centimeters. Their diet was omnivorous, meaning they ate both plants and meat, and its most unique behavior was the use of their vocal cords and vocal box to speak and communicate with other members of the species. Most all of the many thresholds of human evolution apply to this species, given that they were the most complex and intelligent of all the hominids. They differed from their predecessors in a lighter build of their skeletons, very large brains, smaller teeth, and a thin-walled, high-vaulted skull with a flat, near-vertical
What we do know about the Homo sapiens and hominid species, there's a lot that we don't know. We haven't discovered many fossils, we haven't been able to test all of our claims, and we haven't been able to make associative meanings out of everything. But what we do know is helping us understand more about ourselves and what is to come.